Hey folks, Les here, 6S1 from 6S1 and CGBytes here for another of our content artist development series. This week we are wrapping up. This is the last installment in our series that's on a number of different factors of the business side of this, including a lot of stuff about marketing and branding. This week we're going to be talking about more of the specifics of marketing, particularly throughout social media, and using those channels to help get the word out about your stuff. Because that's really kind of the last thing. You know, we've covered all kinds of stuff about content creation leading up to this point, but now you've got your product, you've got it submitted. We've shown you what testing is like, getting it through testing. Talked about promo art, talked about your personal branding, all that kind of stuff. Well, after all that, there's still some work left, and that's the legwork, so to speak, the digital legwork of marketing yourself via social media primarily these days. But there could be other factors involved. And so to really talk about that and get somebody else in on that who is far more of an expert on that than I am, we've got Jason, aka 3D Loki, or Loki 3D, and I'm still screwing that up, and I'll always screw that up. I've been screwing that up for years. I've known this guy for a long time. But anytime you see Loki or Loki 3D or some combination of Loki and 3D in the 3D communities, that is Jason from CGBytes, who is with us here today. So, Jason, you want to say hi?
Hi.
No, we didn't. I didn't ask. Are you? No.
Not in 20 years.
Oh man, that's great. So yeah, 3D Loki, and that's his brand. That's the name he goes under with his artwork and his products and things like that. So that's
and in my real life too. I've been called Loki since I was 6 years old.
Yeah, and it's funny how those names and things come about. And there's everybody has different stories behind them and all that kind of stuff. So so first off, let's kind of get a quick introduction going here, man, because I know a lot of the folks are familiar with you from the chat and from helping kind of moderate these live streams we've been doing. But let's give them a little bit of the rundown, a little biopic on Mr. Loki here.
I've been in the 3D games since about 1997 and 1998. It's really been so long I can't remember which one it was.
I know the feeling.
Throughout the years, I've worn many hats in the 3D industry, from content creation to broker to vendor to networker to marketing promotion, the whole nine yards. The long story short is there is no way for me to shorten myself down to a bio. Currently, I am the community manager and social media manager at CGBytes, and you might know me on the forums over there under a different name, and that is Taransuk.
Cool. So let's take a look then at what exactly you do in those roles for CGBytes, and then maybe give us a little bit of a look at how that relates to. I'm thinking about how that relates to what we as content producers, as artists producing content, can do. So, because I'm thinking that there's probably some similarities to the role you have there, and things that we can do for ourselves to also help kind of get some of the same results that you do for CGB as a company.
That's kind of a yes and a no thing, because what I do in the day-to-day is a company presence. And as a company presence, you've got to be careful when how much you are, quote-unquote, spamming out product. And so whereas artists, you guys have a lot more leeway doing what it is that I do on a daily basis. Oh, excuse me. I had a nature burp there.
Oh, that's cool, dude. We're all friends here, man. Things happen.
Yes, but that's why there's mute buttons. I want to share with the class. Generally, the bulk of my job entitles managing the company's social media platforms. So I'm constantly making posts on Twitter, Tumblr. We did DeviantArt there for quite some time until we kept having some issues with their TOS, and they didn't want us using them as much because we were a competing marketplace, even though they're not really a marketplace, but they are a marketplace, and it's crazy stuff. But posting out images, posting out new product releases, artist spotlights, vendor spotlights, contests that we run from time to time, special sales, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's basically the role of the social media manager, to handle the company's presence on various social media platforms.
Gotcha. So thinking about that now, something you just mentioned that brings something to mind that I wanted to ask is how often, and maybe can you give us a picture of what kind of issues you may run into with things like posting in different places and cross posting, and do you run into there's like issues like you're talking about with DeviantArt. What does that look like, and how do you sort of figure out ways to navigate that, if in fact you do? Like you were talking about how we don't really use DeviantArt that much anymore. What does that all kind of shake down like? Give me a look at that sort of stuff.
So it's what they call a cluster, fill in the blank there.
Yeah.
Quite literally, every single platform has their own set of unique rules, and they like to change them and not tell anybody a lot of times. The best example is Twitter. Twitter, there's like no rules, but you're limited to 140 characters with what you post. You can be as spammy as you want. No one's going to care. I've known companies that make the same post every 5 minutes, 24 hours a day, and they gain hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. A lot of them are bought and paid for, but they still hit that like button. They still retweet, so it still means something at the end of the day. When you go to Facebook, and Facebook is getting to the point where you can promote your stuff, but if you get a lot of eyeballs, it's going to come to a point where they're going to start kind of hiding your posts unless you pay them. Facebook's getting more and more corporate, to where you can do whatever you want within our TOS as long as we're getting a cut of that money. So people are having to come up with a little bit more unique ways to get around that. For the longest time, if you didn't interact with your friends on at least a weekly basis, you just wouldn't see their posts appear on your timeline. And so people would put up some random picture and says, if you see this, hit the like button. And when they hit that like button, Facebook goes, okay, they're interested in what this person is saying and showing them. We're going to let them keep seeing it. So they're trying to be Big Brother, but not trying to be Big Brother. And it creates one hell of a problem when it comes to promoting through Facebook. Other sites like Tumblr, as I mentioned when we were doing the warm-up to this, Tumblr is now doing some kind of a change where they're either changing their API or they're just protecting from bots. But they'll go ahead and unhook things that you have plugged into your Tumblr. You can go on Tumblr and hook in your Twitter account, your Facebook account, your Instagram account, and then when you make a post, it'll feed it to all those channels. But now you have to actually pay attention almost every day to make sure they're being still hooked up, because they like to unhook stuff. So those are the biggest things that you got to look for on the various platforms. But let me say this over and over and over and over again. Don't let that deter you. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's worth it. It really is worth it.
Okay. Well, now thinking about those differences between the platforms, I know something that we've talked about before is using different sort of aggregate systems. And here on my tabs, I have a couple of them brought up that are pretty common, or at least one that I've used, and then one that I've had mentioned quite a bit, using Buffer and Hootsuite. Now, my experience with Buffer is that it's dirt simple, and with Buffer, I can hit... I think on the free version you can hit up to 5 different social media channels at once with the same post, and you can do a couple neat little things with it. There's some simple scheduling and stuff you can do, and then if you go through the paid version, it blows the doors off of it and you can get all kinds of stuff. There's also Hootsuite that my understanding is far more robust. I've never personally used it. What are your thoughts on maybe trying to use any of these sort of aggregate systems like that?
Personally, I have to advise against it just because of the issues that I've dealt with using them in the past. They are great tools. Don't get me wrong in any way there, but back in the day we used a thing called TweetDeck, and TweetDeck is pretty much exactly like Hootsuite is. except Hootsuite allows you to use multiple social media platforms, where TweetDeck was only Twitter. But on TweetDeck, you could have 50 accounts linked in together. So you'd make a post and it would feed it to all 50 accounts. The things that I've learned over the years, through a lot of trial and error, is that if, let's use you for example, okay? You're following me on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, etc., etc. Now, when you start seeing the same thing posted on all 5 channels, there's going to come that time where you're going to go, you know what? Why am I following all 5 of these channels? He's posting the same thing on every single channel. And you're going to probably, at some point in time, unsubscribe or unfollow one or more of those channels. Now, then what happens when I realize that this is going on and I go back to doing unique content on all 5 channels? I've lost a lot of my viewers. And I'm going back to square one. And there's an old term, it's your first impression is your only impression, right? And it doesn't take much to get a follower, but it takes a lot to keep them. And if you lose them, it's almost impossible to get them back. So I found while these do take a lot of the hard work and a lot of the legwork out of the equation, it can lead to other problems that you really don't want to deal with to stay and keep growing.
From the experience that I had with Buffer, the one thing, like, I didn't really use it enough. I probably didn't use it long enough to really find my way into some of the issues that could happen with it. But one thing that I saw as a potential issue was kind of some of what you're talking about there. I think where you're posting something and you're sharing the post across all these different platforms, and pretty soon people figure out, oh, it's all, it's being roboted through all this other stuff, and it takes some of the. I mean, it's social media for a reason. It's supposed to be social. It's supposed to be personal, and so you have to be careful about that. So, like, if I were going to use the stuff, if I were going to use a system like that, I would want to make sure. I think anyway, this is my suggestion, is that you would limit the number of blast posts that go out across everything. You'd you discipline yourself about those and make sure that you still did individual posts as well across the other stuff so that it shakes it all up.
We used to do a schedule when we first started running the Renderotic and the CGBytes accounts. We actually had set days. Mondays would be product day, Tuesday would be artist spotlight, Wednesday would be images, Thursday would be product, Friday would be images, Saturday and Sunday would be images and products. And it worked out really well. Then I started looking at the actual times that things were being posted and seeing where the views were higher, where the views were lower. What was getting more eyeballs, the pictures or the product spotlights, what was getting less views, what times were not working. And I just work around it that way. And you really can't gauge that if you use an all-in-one system like that. You have to physically be in those platforms and looking at your stats that you're getting on all those.
Yeah.
The stuff like Hootsuite, it is great for starting out. If you want to get everything going at one time, that's a great thing. But once you start building your audience, you're going to want to do that personal touch to it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ways to do it where it's not to kick your butt in. We're spending too much time, because you can spend way too much time on social media.
Oh, tell me about it, man. I confess, like, I despise social media because, like, it's useful, but it's also a giant distraction. And so, like, I work a lot. I'm constantly producing content, for CGBytes, for clients that I have as 6S1, for my own catalog as 6S1. And so, I mean, I work a lot. And the thought, this is probably the biggest downfall for me in my own personal studio even, is that I don't promote well. And the reason I don't promote well is that I always have this sense that time I'm spending promoting, even though I know this is complete crap, that time I spend promoting is time that I'm not spending creating. And so, and I want to create. That's what I enjoy. That's what I make my living doing. I want to just keep belting out the stuff because that's cool.
And that's not a far-fetched thought either. I guarantee you a lot of people think the exact same thing, but it is wrong.
Yeah.
You do need to have that presence, because you can build. I'm going to give an analogy that we used back in the web building days. back when websites first became a big thing. You can make the most kick-ass, amazing website anyone's ever seen on the face of the planet, but if there's nobody there to see it, it doesn't count.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You can spend all that time creating the world's best products in the world, but if you can't get eyeballs to those products, you fail.
Oh, yeah.
Because a marketplace can only do so much to promote the product. It's really up to you to get those people to that marketplace to buy your product.
And it's funny, you know, like there's a lot of things to think about in promoting ourselves in this field, about, you know, how do we generate excitement around products, around product releases? How do we train the market a little bit? That almost sounds kind of cold. It's not meant to be, but
a lot of this will sound very cold, but it shouldn't be taken that way.
Yeah, but it's like
business goes.
It's like how do we teach? How do we teach people to gain expectation? Or actually, this is a better way to put it. How do we build expectation of ourselves in those customers, so they're like, oh yeah, so and so is releasing something here, or so and so posts something on these days, or yeah, you know, oh yeah, it's Wednesday at noon. Oh yeah, there's a post from CGBytes on this, and oh, there's that. You know, it's funny because people are such creatures of habit that if you teach them a habit, they want. They come back for that, and they'll find themselves coming back for that, and that becomes a very valuable part of what you can do with marketing. And unfortunately, I just sat here and enumerated that and laid that out, and yet I suck so bad at doing it. I'm horrible at doing it. Like, I can totally look at it and go, well, yes, sir, absolutely, that's exactly what you should do. Well, yes, we should definitely put that into motion, and then.
I'll go one better. I'll first answer your question with 2 words. How do we get that to happen? How do we train our customers? Again, bad choice of words, but it's actually the truth. It's 2 words: interactiveness and inclusion. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead and break off of that for a second and say, disclaimer: most of the stuff that I, or even less, are about to tell you, we probably don't get the chance to practice ourselves because of time constraints.
Yeah.
You know, myself, I'm a worker at a marketplace. I'm community manager. I'm social media manager. And I'm also a vendor. A lot of the stuff that I should be doing as a vendor, I don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not that it doesn't work. It's just that by the time I'm done with it at the end of the day, I don't want to be on social media.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I really don't want to be on social media.
By the time my day is done, I want off.
More importantly, up until very, very recently, I wasn't really making the kind of content that I could utilize my actual knowledge in, because I was just making add-ons for other people's stuff. And so there's only so much you can do with that. I mean, I made the joke for many years that I've stuck myself with 25% of the market at best case scenario, because I have to say, okay, Les puts out a shirt and 100 people buy that shirt. Well, I can say that maybe 25 of them would want a tie-dye add-on for that shirt. So I got 25 sales I might be able to get out of this.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit harder to promote that on a grander scale, like we're going to teach you today how to do, than if it's you built that shirt. And this is why I say, how do you get the people involved? How do you get them excited about your products and stuff? You got to include them in that. And that's the biggest thing that I have preached from the get-go since I started doing this years and years ago. Make your audience a part of your process. Show as many behind-the-scenes steps as you can to them so that they're involved from your concept to your roughing it out, to your first render tests, to your testing phase, to your QA stage, to that product is live. They have been a part of it that entire time. They're going to want to bring that home. They feel like they're a part of that product. And also, if you ask for feedback, it's a way to spam out your product, but you're actually asking for opinions. You're not saying, look at what I made, go buy it. You're saying, what do you guys think of this? And it's best if you have 2 versions. Okay, so let's say you're making a shirt. Make a slight change to that shirt. You don't have to keep that if you don't want to. But then you put those 2 pictures out, and you ask all your audience, which of these is better to you? Now, you might find that second version has 90% of the people going, oh, that's freaking awesome right there. Well, then, okay, scrap that first idea and go with that second idea. Or you can keep the first idea. But now what you have is all of your audience is now involved in this shirt that you're making right now. And they're going to want to see what happens to that shirt next. So say you've made that shirt. Now you're making morphs for it. So you've made, say, 10 morphs. Put a few pictures of those morphs in action out there, and again, ask for opinions. You're not really asking for an opinion. You know that morph is right. You know that strap coming down is great. But you want to engage this audience and get their feedback on it. And once again, they're going, "Oh yeah, I remember that. I'm the guy who told them to go with shirt B, and that's shirt B right there. Oh yeah, this is I'm part of this. I'm involved. I remember this." And they're engaged. They're included, and they're going to keep reacting and acting with you each time you do this.
It's interesting. Like now for myself, because I make a lot of original creatures. That's kind of been my shtick for a long time. Even though I venture into clothing and other things like that, and character sets and things. Yeah, I do a lot of different stuff. But creatures are kind of that's my thumbprint on things. And I have kind of ended up taking almost the exact opposite approach at times, most of the time. Mostly because with the creatures and things that I'll do, even when they're a spin on a popular idea or a well-known idea, like a werewolf or a dragon or something, even when they're a riff on something people already know, I have had numerous times, maybe this is just from being in this for so long, but I've had numerous times where if I showed whips of something, within a short period of time, I would see other dudes popping up doing things extremely similar to what I was doing, and trying to basically going, "Oh yeah, he's doing that. Well, let's do that and get it out before he does." Try to get it out the door.
You're going to have that in every market you're into, though. But that also shows you one very important thing: you're on the right track.
Well,
if they're going to jump up and copy, then you're on the right track.
And
of course, now it becomes a rush to who gets the market first.
Yeah, and so I've kind of taken this approach for myself when I do it, and I don't do it all that often. But sometimes, what I'll do is I'll actually push something to completion, or very, very close, like close enough that I know the heavy lifting is done and no one's going to outpace me on it from there, right? And then I'll show it, so that
there is something to be said, though. Who's to say the product's not already sitting in QA when you're doing these behind-the-scenes samples?
This is true.
And that's the thing, that you gotta come up with your own game plan on this and what works best for your own time-wise. I'll give you a perfect example here. I just released my very first free character pack on CGBytes. She was already past testing. She was already ready to go into the store the minute I uploaded, but I still had promos to make. I had probably a good 5-6 day period where I was still posting coming soon pictures and saying, well, while she's still being tested and this and that, here's this shot of page today. Here's an artist render of page today. The page was ready to go live. It was literally, I was waiting on a certain day and a certain thing to happen before I could do this. And like I said, I also had some promos to finish up too for the store pages. But it was like, according to the post, she was still being worked on. But in reality, she was done. She was ready for her spotlight the second I uploaded to the store. But, and as it stands right now, I'm going to be doing the same thing with the next character. Her base look is already done. And I got to start working on the skin and a few other things. But if you guys follow my social media, when you see me start posting these clay pictures of her, she's already done. I'm not just working on the sculpting when I'm putting out the sculpting pictures. They're done. All the dial work's done. All the sculpt done. Whatever you want to call it, it's done. But I'm gonna have a backlog of content to put up, and it's probably gonna get to the time where when she's about halfway done, she'll probably be sitting in QA at that time. But there's no, it's not bad. It's not deceiving. I mean, if I get busy for 4 days and I can't do an update, then I'm already going to be 4 days behind when I put up that first update.
Yeah.
So don't think of it as you're deceiving people. It might feel like it. It might seem like it. Now, if you use the words "I just did this" and you post a picture that you made 2 weeks ago, yeah, you're kind of being a little shady, and you probably shouldn't do that if you want to be taken as an honest person or somebody who's not out to just steal off their customers. But like, I had a backlog of stuff with Paige, and I released it as I had time to release it, and I just, she was being tested the entire time. Whether it was being tested for this or tested for that or actual QA testing. I wasn't lying when I said she was in testing.
Yeah. Oh no, that's
she had to be done.
See, and that's the stuff that I think sometimes we all end up having to figure out. How far along do we start dropping stuff about things? When's a good time for this? And the kind of the scary truth of it is there's no right answer. It's kind of, it varies from person to person and project to project. At least I think like there are some things that I might do that I'll start showing stuff right off. It doesn't happen very often because I tend to like to play most things very close to my chest. That's just kind of my style on stuff. But if I feel like being open with something like that, then I'll just go ahead and start putting it out there and wander along with it. Other times might take a more methodical approach where I kind of gather my materials as I work and then share it. And unfortunately, this is just the truth, is like most of the time I don't even do that. Most of the time, I might have a behind the scenes video or some stuff like that I'll share and be like, hey guys, check this out. Some of the work that went into this thing coming soon, or this thing that just got released. And that's how I tend to do it, because that's what fits with me, with my work style, with the fact that I'm working so much, and that I'm, like I said, I'm horrible about promotion. Everything that Jason just said about all that stuff, though, honestly, like just listening to him, I'm sitting here kind of going, yeah, dude, I need to do this. I need to do this. Yep. I'm hearing you. I need to do this. So.
But I'm the same way too. I don't do half the stuff that I'm going to preach because I don't have the time.
Oh, I mean,
and that's what it boils down to. I mean,
it's crazy trying to keep up with it all.
You've got to sit down there and figure out, what do I have? What do I need to do? What is my available time to do it? And a lot of our vendors, they have jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of our vendors have, family to take care of. They've got jobs to take care of, and they do this as, I don't want to call it your hobby, but it's your passion hobby that you want to make money on. So maybe you can get rid of that job. Maybe you can free up some more time and whatnot. So that makes it even tougher balance for you. It really does. And so, what I would suggest is, don't try to start out with everything like I always do. It's like, there's 146 social networks out there. I'm going to join them all, and I'm going to post on them every day. And now I didn't get anything done but posting things.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. That takes too much time. So, find yourself one or two channels, and I'm going to say go with Facebook. As much of a pain in the ass as it can be sometimes, that's where all your people are at. Everyone's on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
Look, your mom's on Facebook, your grandma's on Facebook, your freaking great Uncle Lou that you haven't seen in 40 years, he's on Facebook too. So your customers are on Facebook. Then you get to your other ones like Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram, and they've got a smattering, but it's pretty much safe to say that 9 out of 10 people are on Facebook today.
Yeah.
Even if they're just playing them stupid games that I play all the time too.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
So if you can just come up with a schedule, like say, just like start off with 2 days a week, or even 1 day a week. But, just start slow. Don't bury yourself, because what you're going to do is you're going to get burned out and you just won't do it at all. It's like my DeviantArt. I got burned out on DeviantArt. I didn't post on my own DeviantArt for probably 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, I forgot. It's like, oh wow, I had like 5,000 people following me over there. Now I have like 1,000 because I stopped posting.
Oh,
and now how am I going to get those people back?
Dude, I'm pretty sure that I let my DeviantArt account sit dormant for probably 4 or 5 years. I think I started mine in 2004, 2005, and probably didn't post more than 5 things to it until about 2010 or 11, and then probably didn't post again to it until 2 or 3 years after that. Like, I'm horrible about it, because it's like I'm spending so much time making things that keeping track of all these channels is just like, dear God. And for a long time there too, it seemed like every time I turned around there was a new one popping up that I needed to pay attention to. I was just like, okay, this is out of hand. It was just crazy. for me personally, I definitely agree. Facebook is kind of king when it comes to this stuff. Just for a lot of reasons. I mean, and that actually brings me to thinking about specifically in terms of Facebook. There's certain things about Facebook that are very handy if you could tap them right. And I wanted to kind of move the conversation to that and see what your thoughts are on using Facebook, things like groups, and having things like groups and artists. Like I personally have my own artist page. I actually have 3 artist pages, honestly, on Facebook. I have the 6S1 media page that's for my business. Then I have a page for my graphic novel project, Apocalypse Girl, and I have a page for that is just called Les Garner Artist. And that page is strictly for my traditional hand-drawn artwork, my comic book artwork, all that kind of stuff. So from
you also have your actual Facebook account.
Yeah, and then there's my actual Facebook account. So so like even within Facebook, you can actually start to find yourself going, oh yeah, I gotta keep track of this page and this group and that. And it's just like, oh my God, it can spider out of control out really fast. Really fast. Oh, see, I don't find it fun at all. I'm not.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh yeah. I know some people who actually enjoy it. They enjoy all the stuff that goes with that. And I'm like, dear God, what's wrong with you? I don't understand.
You have to be happy for those people, because as long as they're sitting at home on their computers enjoying that spiral of madness, they're not on the roads where you're trying to drive.
This is true. Yeah, those people probably. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to offend anybody, but thank you for staying home.
It's like people should be happy I'm a shut-in, because that means I'm not outside where you and your kids are.
Yeah. So I just switched over to the CGBytes Facebook page. And so here you can see some stuff that's been posting there. You see the upcoming events. I think this is kind of
the event that's happening right now.
Yes, this is what we're in right now. Full circle.
Tape.
Booyah! Here we are, full circle, promoting your product's release. And here we have our lovely little box with all the social media stuff in it. And unfortunately, for the sake of kindness and not wanting to trigger anybody, I didn't show the box set on fire the way I personally would like to set all social media pretty much on fire. But there it is.
I'd like to close that box up and put it in the attic somewhere, but then I'm out of half a job.
Yeah. You make your living off that. So let's talk about Facebook a little bit, man. If you're using Facebook to promote with, as we do, which if this thing would just go back, why is it not going back to where I want it to go back to? Oh,
yeah, hit your back button. Because you're actually on. Now you're on 6s.
Come back to me, CGB. Here, fine. I will type it in. See how lazy I am? CGB.
Right there. Yes.
Sigbits. Sigbits. We're going to Sigbits. All right. There we go. So, and there we go. Kind of forward announcing the next one a little bit there. Mechanical. That's going to be a fun. That whole series. I'm going to pimp for just a moment. Okay, you guys. I know. I've actually been really pleased with the response to this series that we've been doing on marketing and branding and all this kind of boring business stuff. But I really have been very pleased with the response, and kind of the carrot at the end of the stick here, the reward for slogging through all that stuff with us, is the next series coming up is titled Mechanical. And here you see a little glimpse at what is going to be coming out of that. I've got a special treat for you guys with this really massive, totally badass new mech that's like a new installment in CGBytes' Dark Void product line. And this thing is so cool. I've gone ahead and pre-built a lot of it so that when we hit that series, I'll be showing some things and then using it and kind of referencing and saying, okay, here, look at this. Now, this is how I did this, because it's extremely in-depth. There is a lot going on there. I know we had a great response to the exoskeleton stuff and some of the ship stuff. There was a lot of cool sci-fi stuff that I had a blast doing for the Dark Void series. And so I thought, man, let's open that back up again and take this next leg of this stuff to go back there. And in the course of that too, I've got a whole slate of tools that I'm going to be giving away leading up to the release of the actual mech itself. So, and there was some discussion, some internal discussion today. I believe the mech itself is probably going to be an actual CGBytes product, but there's a lot of cool freebies that are going to be given out leading up to its release that are perfect for all you guys who are attending these things. It's going to be a lot of Zbrush stuff, some Zbrush and Substance related assets and things to help you guys make things along this line. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. It's a ton of fun. Like, I really am enjoying making this mech, and it's just cool stuff. And I think you guys are going to dig it. So there's that, and there it is. And so there, look at that. We just front loaded some marketing. We just did some marketing for ourselves on an upcoming piece right here through this broadcast and through the CGBytes page. So there you have some of this stuff put into practice while you listen. And I think that's actually kind of a valid example. What do you think, man?
I'm just heartbroken. You said the carrot at the end of the stick. I thought you were going to say was tonight.
Oh,
you and I.
No, you're
the Dark Void.
You're the stick, dude. You are the stick.
I keep telling people it's a bad hip. I don't have the stick stone in my hands. It's not it. It's the coat hanging.
Loki the stick man. Oh, that's great.
So now we were talking about Facebook, right?
Yes, Facebook. So I wanted to get you.
So yeah, you use Facebook. Okay, next topic. No.
Yeah, use Facebook. No, I wanted to get your thoughts on things like Facebook groups and stuff like that. And are there any do's and don'ts for using them, or?
Hate them all. Run from them as fast as you can. But since you need to use them, embrace them.
That's great.
Actually, it comes down to this. If you hate something, it's probably really important that you use it for your business or to grow yourself. If you liked it, it'd be all happy fun time, and you'd make no money, but you'd be happy.
Yeah,
so,
that does seem like the case.
With Facebook, the most important thing I can tell you is you already have a Facebook account. Take a second for your art and your products. This way, in today's climate of everyone being offended over everything, part of the reason I don't go on things like this very often, because I offend people, is by saying, "Hi, my name is me," and they go, "Oh, I'm offended, I'm triggered."
Yeah.
But to keep yourself out of that potential hellstorm that comes down from the special snowflakes, make a second account. Most important thing on the face of the planet. Even if you've got thousands of friends on your main account, make a second account. Because your real friends will follow over to that account as well, and they will subscribe to it, they will like it, they will follow it, they will pimp it out to their friends as well. Once you have that account, this can be an actual account, or it could be a page. It's a good thing to have a page for your products. So, like, for example, let's use Les for the example here. Les has a personal Facebook account, Les blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now he can also have a artist account where he just calls himself 3D Les blah blah blah. Right. Now on this account, Les will only post things that are related to the 3D industry and nothing else. Not what I did this weekend, not political, not religious, not personal thoughts or feelings. It's just, hey, this came out from this friend of mine, or hey, did you hear Pixar just merged with Nike and they're now making 3D render shoes? And it's called just Light It Up or whatever, right? Okay. Now then, Les also has an artist page, okay, which is 6S1, and that's where all the 6S1 product releases go to, and upcoming preview images would go there. Now, because of the way Facebook is set up, 6S1 can't go out and join a group, but 3D Les can go out and join a group. So again, another important thing when you're dealing with these groups on Facebook is to have an artist account, so that you can accept anybody as a friend, even if religiously you don't get along with that person, politically you don't get along with that person, ideologically you don't get along with that person. You don't have to if it's a business type thing, where it's art to art, product to product, vendor to vendor.
That's a really good point, and that's something that I've been kind of it's an odd sort of thing. Like I'm on again, off again with it. In that my personal Facebook account, I post a lot of business related things there because I have a lot of folks who like I don't make my real name. Like I go by my real name on everything. So anybody who is into 6S1 stuff is very quickly going to find Les Garner, and so people just naturally are like, hey, send Les a friend request, and most of the time I review those, and I don't accept all of them, but I accept a lot. But every so once in a while I will post a little disclaimer through my personal Facebook page, from a personal Facebook account, saying, hey, I understand a lot of you folks, maybe I've friended you, or you've friended me by way of exposure through the art that I do, or whatever things that you follow, and just understand, hopefully, this is my personal page, and I've accepted your request, but I'm gonna say things here that you may not always agree with. And every once in a while I'll post a little disclaimer about this sort of thing. And then I also, on my personal page, I use, I set up, you can set up like different, I forgot what they're called now. It's not groups.
They're called block lists.
Well,
if you're talking about who can't see the post that you're posting.
Well, there's block lists, and then there's also, I want to call them circles, but I know that's not it. I know that's on Google Plus.
That's Google Plus. You're talking about like, oh, I forget what they changed the name of it.
Yeah, but there's
you're talking about just like your friend lists and stuff. So you can have like
there's different lists.
A list called work. You can make a list called family. A list called don't let them see this.
Yeah, and so I kind of use those rather frequently, where I have things that are just only family is in this list. So if I'm going to post something that's only family related, or if it's something that is only whatever subject it is. I encourage people, depending on how private you are with your personal name. I mean, if you're super private about it and you keep it completely separate, then great. You don't really have to worry about this. But if you're like me, and especially if you're like me and you do stuff that's in various art fields, it becomes much more difficult to keep that separate. And so I suggest using these kind of tools in there so that you can at least kind of moderate yourself, if that makes sense.
There's problems with that, though. There's problems. I'm going to show you here in a moment. But there's also there's a very big difference here too. We're probably talking to a lot of people who don't have a presence yet.
Yeah,
okay?
This is true.
You have a big difference than a lot of the other people out here. You've been doing this for a very long time, and you're very well known in the industry, multiple industries. You will get a lot more leeway than Cindy, who just creates her account.
This is true.
1,000 artists and makes a political post. Now Cindy's out of business, and Cindy's a meme to be hunted down and killed.
Yeah,
virtually.
And that does happen. I've seen that happen. And it's funny because it doesn't matter to me if I agree with somebody or not. When I see that happen and I see those things ruin them, it doesn't matter to me if I agreed with anything they said or not. I always feel bad for them because it's like, man, it's just crappy how people can be with that sort of thing. How you really can't just speak your mind quite that openly all the time. And
you used to could, but you used to can't no more.
Yeah, and the funny thing for me is like I kind of came up through this stuff initially during that Wild West era of the early internet, when it was no holds barred, and it was great. And I developed some really bad habits early on out of that because that's what I knew, and that's what was comfortable. And I've since learned to discipline myself back out of those. But it's difficult, and it's really difficult when you interact with a lot of people that way, and all kinds of habits get created. So being able to separate that stuff at the outset, like if I had it all to do over again, if I scrapped everything and came up with a new identity and just did it all over again right now, I would keep them so completely separate it isn't even funny.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
And
but
that's the whole point. If you're already an established brand, if you've been around for 20 years, you've got thousands and thousands of followers, then there's a pretty good chance that you found that balance between art and real life that is now getting you in trouble. And in that case, I applaud you. Congratulations, you've done what I can't do.
well, if in fact I've done it, which I don't think I have, but if I have come close to it, it is completely by accident. So
Right.
it's completely accidental.
But I'm speaking more of our viewers right now.
Yeah.
Because I know we both post stuff that we probably shouldn't
Oh,
post.
all the time. All the time.
I'm at this stage, it's like, I don't really care. I've got 7 freaking Facebook accounts. Not pages, not groups. I have 7 freaking accounts.
Yeah.
And I still don't have one for myself, really. You know, I've got my family account, but I still have to be careful what I post on there because I have a very religious side of the family who doesn't understand a thing about what we do. And if you were to post anything, what I do on that account, they'd be like, "Are you playing with dolls? What is that? Are you drawing pictures? Why don't you get a job? What are you doing? Is that pornography? I see a girl in a bikini. That must be pornography." And so it's like, okay, according to my family, I've been unemployed for 20 some odd years, and I'm just a bum who's somehow getting by and not arrested somewhere or living in a box.
Yeah,
They have no clue what I do.
It took me a long time before family recognized. They're like, wow, he kind of does this all the time. His bills get paid, and wow, is that a job? That's a job. You have a job doing this strange stuff. Like, yeah, it's my job.
My favorite one. I was making $35 an hour managing a company's online presence, plus a 15% profit share check each month, plus $65 an hour as a graphic designer. I was pulling in thousands of dollars a week, and my cousin, who's in her 50s, actually told me, "Don't you think it's time to go get a real job? You know Walmart's hiring." And I'm like, "Do you know how much money I make a week legitimately?"
That's crazy, man.
An actual real, I'm like going, yeah, because working on a computer is not real. Okay, yeah, you're still stuck in 96 now. I apologize. Yes, I'll go put an application to Walmart and take a 99.9% pay cut. Thank you. Awesome. Now, back to about using the groups to make your post. If you go to your Facebook page and just go to make a post.
Let's see. Let's go.
I'm going to show you a little trick here. So it's a very important thing that can screw you up. Like, just literally type in the what's on your mind. Just randomly hit the keys there for a moment. No, not up there.
Oh.
You need to make a post.
Derp. I don't know how to use the wizard box.
Okay. So just anything. Now, right down here, you don't even have this set up.
Probably don't.
Oh, no, it is down there, isn't it? Yeah, right there. Okay.
I'm actually posting this live to my Facebook account as I type this too, because that's just funny to me.
For those of you who are watching, this happened last night. I'm live on tape. Okay, don't hit enter. I want you to go down to the public tab on the left-hand side.
Ah, yes.
This is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Now you can set these up. Now here's where the problem comes in. The minute you change this, it stays changed until you change it.
Yeah, you have to remember to change it back.
As Les was saying, he's got these little groups set up so that if he's going to go ahead and say, I'm going to make a post that general public can't really see, so I'm going to change it to this. Well, then when he goes to make a post that those people shouldn't see, he's got to make sure that he unchanges that.
Yeah.
I have fallen prey to that so many freaking times.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even
Oh, my God. Yeah. You can definitely end up being like, oh, what was that? It's like, oh, oops, that wasn't meant for you. Oopsies.
Yeah. Here's a perfectly harmless example. Okay, on my Loki Smith Facebook account, which I use for work and I use for my art, I also play Facebook games on. One of the games I happen to play is a game called Pot Farm. It's like Farmville, but with comedy drug references. And I have everything set up that if I share something from the game, it only goes to other players. And I had forgotten to switch that back one day, and I shared that Jason just grew a massive crop of macaroni and cheese weed, free surprise seeds, and I had artists going, what the hell is this, dude? And I'm going, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to see any of that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Game's
my
awesome.
god! Oh my god! And I could just imagine how many different ways that could go so wrong that it almost ends up being right.
Well, it did because 10 of my artist friends now play the game with me on time to time. So
Oh, that's kind of
I
great.
have more neighbors. That's cool.
Oh man. So let's see. We've kind of established, Facebook really is kind of king. I would wager Twitter might be a close second. Either Twitter or Tumblr.
I'm gonna go with Tumblr because Tumblr is more of a image-based
Gotcha.
meme generator. However, Tumblr is also the most toxic social media of them all because it has literally been taken over by SJWs. And if you post anything remotely misogynistic or anti-feminist, even if it's by accident, you could get jumped on. But again, don't let that deter you, as cases of that happening by accident are pretty slim. Okay, but if you do it intentionally, they're going to kill you virtually. They're going to do it. Now, there are certain people who go, challenge accepted, because this way I can go viral. And by certain people, I mean, yes, I've done that myself, and it works. And the saying, not any press is good press, that used to be true. That's not true now.
Yeah.
So if you think, oh my God, I can get 10 million people look at my stuff and they can hate me for a minute and then realize I was just joking, and then there's 10 million people look at my stuff. That doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah.
It used to, not anymore.
Yeah.
We have gone backwards in that kind of thing.
It's a strangely different climate out there for a lot of things. So, so now with Twitter, I know Twitter has recently made some little changes, and they are much more image friendly. And that's kind of cool. I mean, it's not as robust as Tumblr or Facebook, but there is something to be said for that. For that there. I personally like Twitter over Tumblr only in that for me Twitter is way easier. Like Twitter just makes more sense to me. Like I just use it really easily. So
but your problem with Twitter is you're limited to 140 characters, and that includes the link.
Yeah.
When you upload an image because it creates a to.co link.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so those characters count against what you type. And so and Twitter is starting to become like Facebook, where it's starting to be whoever pays the most gets the most views.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a catch-22, but it's not that bad yet.
Yeah.
I'd say you still got at least 2 years before they figure out how to monopolize all your viewers.
Yeah.
So you've got some time to keep monopolizing it instead of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, let's see. There's. I wanted to talk a little bit about YouTube, because I know YouTube is what I've heard said about it, and I don't know because I'm not a marketing guy, but I've heard from a gentleman who I do some work with, who is a marketing dude, that YouTube. He said YouTube was like the second largest. It was now the second largest search, or second most used search on the web. And I could see where maybe there's some ways that you could use YouTube. Now, obviously, YouTube it's video, so there's a whole other pile of things to consider with how you would try to use that in terms of being a content artist.
It's actually really easy. Very, very, very easy. Do me a favor here, and if you're in the chat right now, you can sit there and giggle and go, yay, thank you. Open your search box and type in Grifffox, Grifffox.
Okay.
Give you guys a perfect example of what can be done here. Entertainment, second, make space and entertainment.
Okay.
There you go. Very first one. Hit that one.
Oh, Grifffox comes to some of our seminars.
Yep. This is my buddy Mike, and what he's been doing is getting with artists and creating slideshows and putting them up on YouTube. So he does a lot of artist promo videos. So this is a really easy way that you can use YouTube to promote.
Oh wow!
artwork.
I did not know he did that. That is awesome. Well, I've learned something here. I'm definitely going to reach out to him. Grifffox, we need to talk. We need to talk, dude. That's really cool. I hope he's in here for this, because this is really cool. I did not know he did this. I've thought about doing stuff like this for myself before, but like so many other things, it's like I need a day that has 40 hours in a day, not 24.
Exactly, and a handful of clones.
Yeah, I need like 4 of me. My wife would love that, and we're done with that conversation. Yeah, that's really cool. That could be really, really cool to promote with.
Yeah, because currently, right now, YouTube is going through what they're calling the adpocalypse. There was some issues with PewDiePie. He made a video where he went to Fiverr.com. Another great resource for you guys. We'll talk about that in a little bit, maybe after the break. But he went to Fiverr and tried to figure out what could he get people to do the most insane thing for $5. And he found these foreigners from like India or something, and he had them write down Hitler did nothing wrong and hold it up on a sign, because they'll write anything on a sign and hold it up for $5.
Oh wow!
And he put this in a video about how bad this was. The Wall Street Journal got a hold of this and decided that PewDiePie was a Nazi, and he was encouraging the fact that Hitler did nothing wrong. And the Wall Street Journal went to Pepsi, Coke, IBM, Walmart, everybody pulled out of YouTube. And literally, they lost 75% of their national brand advertisers over this video that was made as a joke. This is what we're talking about. The culture has changed now. You can't make jokes and people go, oh, it was just a joke. It's just a prank. No, this stuff's getting serious. So overnight, every content maker on YouTube started making less and less and less money because there's no ads on there. So people are now starting to retool and go, okay, so I'm not going to make $5,000 this month from YouTube views, but I have this platform and I have this audience. I can push them somewhere else. And that's one thing YouTube has never stopped creators from doing, is directing people to other websites. Whereas DeviantArt, you can't put your CGBytes store link on DeviantArt. They'll strip it. They'll take the picture down. You can't go over to Facebook and plug a whole bunch of links over and over and over again before they sit there and go, excuse me, you're going to have to boost that ad and give us $20 if you want to be putting out your spam like that.
Yeah.
And Twitter's starting to become the same way. YouTube still doesn't give a flying flip about what you're promoting, because no matter what, the viewers are on their website watching the videos. And even if you embed the website on your own website, their ads are still going to show up on that video. So they're still getting paid no matter who you're linking to. So they really don't care. And so, like, with Mike's videos here, I to be honest, I don't get a chance to watch them, sadly. But I know what him and I were talking about is that a lot of the artists who's in there, they're linked on those videos, so you can get to their social media pages or their DeviantArt pages or their vendor pages. And so you can push all those viewers right to your store by putting your store link in your description, stuff like that.
Oh, that's very cool. That is very cool. Yeah, Griffox, you and I need to talk. That's very cool stuff, and yeah, we need to hook up. That's very cool. So,
and I'll tell you what, if you're using a computer, you have the software to do what Mike's doing. I'm not sure what he's using right off the bat, but I can tell you that every single PC machine comes with Windows Movie Maker.
Yep.
And all you've got to do is bring your images into Movie Maker, figure out how long you want them each to display. I'd say 5 to 10 seconds a picture. That's just me. And then you can, from YouTube, you can use royalty-free music right from the back end of YouTube. And you can pick something that matches your artwork or something that just matches the flow of your video, throw that on there, upload, and it's done. It doesn't take a whole lot of work to do this. And even if you don't have the knowledge of doing it, it's literally Windows Movie Maker, just drag and drop, drag, drop, drag and drop.
That's very cool.
It's not taking away from what Mike does. Mike puts a lot of work in his videos, and he adds in effects and stuff like that, and he times up the music to transitions. But if you have no experience, you can still make your own videos. That is what I'm saying.
That's very cool. See, and that's kind of why I wanted to do a session on this stuff like this, because I figured that when we got to talking about it, there'd be things like this that didn't even dawn on me. That would come up. That would be just really cool. Cool resources to think about. I dig that. That's very cool. See, this is a fun one for me because I'm actually learning stuff myself. So that's awesome.
And I'm reminding myself of things I have to do for the next releases too.
Yeah, so you're going to come away from this like, oh crap! Everybody's heard me say this, and now I have to do it all. Oh no!
No, that's why I put up the disclaimer at the beginning. I'm going to tell you things that I don't do, not because I don't work, because I don't have freaking time.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like I can do all these things if you want me to stop promoting you guys.
All right. How are we doing on time, man?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I haven't really been keeping track, and I know we've been on for an hour at least. I think actually way more at this point, but I'm not really keeping track, and I don't think I want to do our customary usual break because I see I've got a handful of other things I want to kind of get into with you, and I feel like we're on a good roll here, so I just want to kind of keep hitting it. And then we'll just let it fall where it may, and then bring it to a wrap when we're done with it. So, so let's see.
So everybody, cross your legs. Don't think of running water. Waterfalls, Niagara Falls.
Exactly. Hang on tight because we're just gonna keep pushing right on through this. So a couple other things that we wanted to kind of touch base on, and I have some notes here. About product launches and special coupons. So, what would you say about that? Because I know, like for me, that's something I know that we can do at CGBytes. But again, as with so many things related to marketing, I just don't. I don't think about it or whatever. So give us kind of a rundown on that whole process and what it can do for you, how you use it, yada yada.
All right, if you want to go over to your account there on the right-hand side of the screen.
Okay.
Then click on Content Artist Portal.
Okay.
And then when that page loads up, you're going to click on Coupons on the left side.
Coupons.
Now, I can't speak for other marketplaces, but I know that here at CGBytes and Renderotica, you can make a personal coupon that is either public or private by clicking on New Discount Coupon. Now, through this, you're going to make a name for the coupon. You're going to give it a coupon, a code I can't see on your screen there. But you're going to basically set, is it going to be a percentage off? Is it going to be a dollar amount off? And then you can, after you set that up, you pick, is it your whole store? Is it one product? So the things that I would recommend is when you're doing a product release, if you go over and look at Daz, right, which is the #1 marketplace or the big granddaddy at the moment, right? Every time they put out a new product, it's a discount.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple of days that the product comes out at Daz, it's a discount. That discount could be anywhere between 20, 30, 40% off. And then, of course, they've got their rolling. If you buy a new release, you get an extra 5% off. You buy 2 products and tap your foot and sacrifice a chicken while it jumped up and down, you get 20% off extra. But with this, what you can do is create your own personal launch code coupon, or a coupon for anything. It's Tuesday, have $1 off my product, whatever you want to do.
So do I put in I put in a code here, or do I what do I do here?
So the name is a Sixes store sale. So your coupon code is going to be like Secret Sixes sale, or whatever you want to call it.
Let's call it
That's
that.
the code that they enter in. No spaces.
Okay.
That's the code that they're going to enter at checkout to get that discount applied.
There we go. We'll do that.
And then I can't read your choices there. You got 2 choices with radio buttons.
There's absolute discount and relative discount.
Yes, your absolute discount, you go with that, and you just want to give them $1 off, let's say.
Okay.
So
And I guess relative discount's going to be a percentage.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that changes there as well.
So let's just say, and this is kind of funny because I was thinking about running a sale on my stuff at CGBytes anyway, because I have
But this is a coupon, not a sale.
Oh, it's a coupon.
This is a coupon.
It's a coupon.
When you set up a sale, you're actually hard changing your prices on all products or some products.
Okay.
A coupon is going to give them X% or X dollars off a single product or anything in your store, depending on how you set this up.
Okay. Well, let's just say Secret Sixes sale is 10%. Let's say 15% off. Okay, so we're going to do 15% off store wide, and we'll say it's.
So this is going to be starts now, and it's going to end on a date you select.
So then, it's fun. Okay, so if I hit, so I just need to type the date in then.
Yep, or you can hit the little calendar button next to the now, and you can pick a date from the calendar.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, it's just really tiny in there. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So let's say, let's see, today is the 3rd. So let's run this through. Let's run it for a week. So to set to.
And then you hit OK.
Oh, and it didn't. Oh, there we go.
You have to actually hit the button.
Yeah.
Hit OK.
Okay, cool. So
now you hit OK.
Okay.
And so now you can go in there and you can set this up of what products. Do you want the whole store? Do you want just one thing? If you sell under multiple vendor names, because you can do that with us, you can have like, let's say you make really risky clothing. Well, you don't want that under your name. Julie's Jewels. So you want to put something else in there. So you can select which of your vendor accounts is going to be going on that.
Oh, that's cool.
And also categories. So once you have this all set up, then what I would say is it's time to test your social media presence. You hand this coupon code out. This is Six's secret sale. You put it out only on your social media channel. Because even though you might have thousands and thousands of followers on these channels, how many of them are active customers?
Interesting.
How many of them actually come into your stores? So you'll see every time those are used.
Oh.
You can also set the coupon that can only be used X amount of times, right? So let's say I've got 5,000 people on my social media. I want this coupon to be good for the first 100 people that use it. And it also sets a sense of urgency, right? So this coupon can be used 100 times if you set it like that.
Okay.
Then you put up a special thing on your Facebook or your Twitter and say, hey, first 100 people get 15% off your entire store. Go, use this code.
Oh, that's
and then
cool.
You create a mad rush to your store.
That's pretty
now,
cool.
Again, awesome idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great idea. I've never done it.
Huh. I'll tell you what. Let's. You know what? Let's do that right now. Why not?
Yep.
Let's do 50% off, and I'm going to do it on my whole store. Just cause. It's like, let's put this into practice. So we're looking at the redemptions
you might
here.
need to get that cleared. Drop it to 40. I can't remember. There's a cutoff.
Okay.
You can't go more than X%, because then it starts cutting into processing money.
Okay. Well, we'll set it at 40 then. And then, so these redemption restrictions. Okay, maximum total redemptions.
Yep, that's if you want to limit it to say 100 people, then you put 100 right there.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, let's do the first 100 then. First 100 people.
Okay.
There you go.
It's your maximum redemption per user. Again, that's a one-time. So you can only use a coupon once.
Okay,
Each person can only
but you
use
have
once.
to make sure that you put that in, right?
Oh yeah, because otherwise
They'll get there.
by
They'll get
default,
there, and it
0,
doesn't do anything. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you don't set that to 1, then Bob can come in and buy 20 times and get the discount every single time.
Okay.
If you're just doing a special sale, you want that to be a one-time use per user.
Gotcha. So then, minimum order total.
You can leave that 0 if you want. For this one, to give it a quick explanation here, you're going to give them the discount, but you want them to at least spend $5. So in that case, you'd put a $5 order there. So anything above $5, it's going to give them the discount of 50%,
Okay.
40%, 20%,
So,
30%.
and if I enter that, do I just enter a 5? Do I enter $5? How do I enter that?
I believe it's $5, 5.00.
Okay. And do I need the dollar sign on there or just the number?
No.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
Okay, so then maximum savings. I guess that sets a threshold for for stacking with other stuff if anything else is in play.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to put anything in there, and
I'm not going to pretend to know every single bit of the back end here. Some of that stuff is foreign to me.
Gotcha.
I usually end up calling, going, I need to set this up. What are the numbers I put here?
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna guinea pig this then and hit OK.
But you still have to select your products and your vendors and your categories.
Oh,
So
products,
you got
vendors, and
more text
categories.
there.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So, and
Now,
it
go to
keeps
products.
everything that I just put in there. It'll keep, right?
Correct. If you go back to general right now, you'll see that stuff.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're in products, and I want all products except for these. No. So what's up here? Do I have to add my entire store or?
Nope. So if you go with all products except for these, and not add any products, then it becomes all products.
Okay, cool.
So let's say, for example, you wanted every product but the last product you put up, because that's just too new to actually put something in there.
Okay.
To put a sale.
Okay. Well, right now
The vendors.
I'm going to go with all products except for these. I think that makes sense, and I can see. Yeah, there's Okay, this makes sense. So I would just select the stuff out of here if I wanted to exclude anything from that.
Correct.
And then we can move on to vendors. Now, what is this
Make sure
section?
that So this section is if you have multiple vendor accounts. Like if you're selling under 6S1 and less is luxuries and Ravishing Rebecca's radishes, whatever. You can have multiple accounts with us.
Gotcha.
And only sell props through one account, only sell clothes through the other account. You can have yourself different brands.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. And then categories.
Yep.
And again, it seems kind of self-explanatory, but it's, you can pick stuff from different categories that you have products in, I guess.
Yep. Only comic books are on sale. Only character packs are on sale.
Gotcha.
Only V3 stuff's on sale, etc.
Gotcha.
We give you a lot of options here.
Oh, that's cool. So then when I'm done with all that, I can come back and hit OK.
Yep.
And there we go.
And now you will only have sales if you give that code out.
Awesome. So,
yep, but make sure you go back to coupons, and I think you have to activate the coupon, if I'm not mistaken. Once you hit OK.
Okay, so
go to coupons.
Okay, so I have it.
Is it active? Say that it's active status. Should say status or something. No. All right, so it's just sales need to be activated that way. Coupons are set up and gone.
Okay, so there you go, folks. Secret Sixes sale is a coupon there. If you're watching this, you can go use that right now, which I'm not going to stop you from because obviously, but there you've seen that set up here live, and that's a way to use coupons and discounts to set them up, and then you could take that code. So here's the code for this, and you're going to see me go do this. So if I take that code and I pop it in, into my Facebook page.
Yep.
So I'm going to say, limited time discounts on 6S1 stuff at CGBytes. I'm going to put the URL there. So actually, I don't want to do that right now because I don't want to slow things down for me to go dig up URLs and all that stuff. But that's
literally all you have to do. It's literally just CGBytes.com. Facebook will link it to CGBytes.com.
Well, I was going to do a direct link to my store at CGBytes.
Ah.
Yeah.
And I don't know your vendor numbers because otherwise it's CGByte.com/6S1/ and then there's a number code there.
Yeah. So
we've almost got it where it's just the vendor name.
Yeah.
Almost there.
So I'll dig that up later and make a post about that. But you guys watching this get the whole gist of that. So this Secret Sixes sale for the next week, that'll be going on, and so let's see, what did I do? Did I do 15% off on that?
Yeah, we did. It was 15.
Oh, I thought I did more than that. I thought I did 40. Huh. But
now you can go back and hit the edit.
Yeah, so we can go back and hit the edit button. Yeah, it's funny because I had 15 and then I changed it to 40, and then when I went back, it kept it at 15. So let's do that at 40, and we'll hit OK. So it's a nice deep discount there.
I go over to coupon to make sure it's there.
And there it's 40%. So there's a 40% off sale at CGBytes on the 6S1 store if you use the coupon code Secret Sixes sale for the next week. And you guys,
and if you're one of the first 100 people to do so.
First 100 people to show up there and use that, get the nice fat discount this week. And you guys got to see that tool and that set of tools from the website being used. And the nice thing about that is you can set up your own code then that okay, that code, I only gave that code out here, and here. And out of that, you can immediately get feedback then on how effective those channels were for marketing your goods. That's
now,
super cool.
If you run a sale like this, you're going to want to make multiple posts, okay?
Yep.
Because the way Facebook works out is not everybody scrolls through their timeline to see what they've missed while they've been away. And most times, people don't tend to visit your actual page to see your updates. Now, when I say page, I mean your account. So, let's say, for example, Les just posted that thing a few minutes ago. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm live or not, right? So, if I wasn't here with Les tonight, I probably wouldn't have seen that post from Les because I don't generally go to Les's account page to see what he's posted. I go and scroll through my timeline, and Les's posts appear there. So, when you're doing something like this, make sure you post multiple times. Because if you just post it one time but nobody saw it, doesn't mean that they're not active on your page. It doesn't mean they don't care about your page. It just means that there's a good chance that these are people who scroll through their timeline and not visit the thousands of people or the hundreds of people that they follow or like
Facebook. And I would follow that with saying like that is where I would use is the example that I would cite as maybe a time to use something like a buffer or a Hootsuite, not necessarily to robotically reach all the channels, but to actually go ahead and pre-schedule yourself these posts so that they have a chance to hit. Is that a good idea or a bad idea, or what do you think?
Well, in the case that I'm saying they should try this on one platform at a time.
Yeah.
Facebook's scheduling process where you can schedule your post on Facebook.
Oh, that's true. And see, that's something else that I don't know. I've never done that. Can you show us what's up with that? Where do you go?
Go to your 6is1 page, because you need to do this from a page, not an account. You can't do it from an account. It has to be a page or a group.
Okay, so where's my 6is1 page? I know you're on here somewhere. There you are. 6is1 page.
So simply go ahead and add yourself a picture. It's the easiest way to do this.
So just add.
So you hit your add photo, very top.
Add a photo.
Very top, right there. Little button.
Dang it! There. See, they keep changing things, so it's
I know. So you hit upload a photo or video.
Okay.
Pick a random photo. Once you click on that.
And let's go grab.
YouTube bots don't pay attention to what was just on the screen.
No, that's actually kind of cool. Like, that was completely unintentional there. I apologize for that.
People are gonna think I'm streaming this for the moment.
It was all tasteful. It was all tasteful. It was actually stuff from my Scarlet figure that was kind of some cool stuff. Let me find something silly to toss up here.
And YouTube doesn't really care about artistic nudity. They don't care. It's when they get to the actual hardcore stuff that they really have a problem with. But I still wouldn't put nudity in your videos that you're doing for YouTube, or putting nudity up on Facebook.
Yeah, because you don't want to do that. All right.
So you got some videos, or some pictures now. Now, right there where it says publish, when it says finish loading, there's a little drop down arrow next to publish. You can click on schedule.
Oh, nifty.
You can set whatever. You can set the date. You can set the time, and you can also tell it to stop distributing it on people's timelines at a certain point. But never use it. There's no reason to use that. But they just added that probably about a few months back, I think.
Nice.
And I think if you don't see it on yours when you do this, it doesn't mean that they took it away. A lot of stuff Facebook will roll out slowly. So, like, Les and I might have the feature now, but you might not have it yet where you're at. All that stupid meme post that they make, colored backgrounds, is not through the entire world yet, thank God.
Neat.
But yeah, so that post will go ahead and post whenever he scheduled that up.
Oh, nice.
And you can sit there and schedule 3 days in advance if you really want to. But if you pre-schedule too much, you will get an alert box to make sure you're a human being and not botting their site.
Interesting.
So I would say never schedule more than 12 posts in advance, such that you don't set off that filter. What I do for CGBytes is 9 times out of 10, when you see a day that we have product and image spotlight posting, I set that up the night before. And here's the best trick I will teach you. Okay, never, ever, ever post at the top of an hour. Always pick a random time. If you want to post to go live at 1 o'clock, make it go at 1:04. Make it go at 1:07. Make it go at 1:02. But when you post things at the top of the hour, people are going to go, oh, they're using a bot script. They're not really running this account anymore. They've now switched to an autopilot type thing. Because unless you go in and set the times on those programs, they'll do it at the top of the hour, 15 minutes or 20 or 30 minute intervals. And so you really got to dive into the back ends and go, no, I want you to post random times, literally random times. And so anytime you need to do automation for time sensitive things, you want to use random time so it still looks like it's really you there doing that. And if our boss is listening, it doesn't mean I'm not working. It literally takes as much time to pre-post as it does to post live.
Well, it might.
So I'm still doing my
job. In a certain sense, it actually takes longer because you got to think it through and then do the stuff and put it there instead of just type it and hit it.
Well, to a point, right? Because I've got
I'm trying to help you out, man. I'm trying to help you out. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. You're live here.
Live on tape.
Oh man, that's great. So okay, that's very cool then. So that's and again, I learned something. That's a new thing that I'll try to use. Being able to schedule posts and things like that there. So,
Yeah, but again, you have to use it. You have to use a page to do this. You can't do this from your actual personal account. It has to be a page.
gotcha.
Groups can also schedule posts ahead of time as
Oh,
well.
that's cool. That's cool too. Awesome. So now there was another service, and I have this up in a tab here that you had mentioned earlier that I'm completely unfamiliar with, and just in case it's a worthwhile thing to consider, this was
definitely.
Gleam. So
Yeah,
give us a look at what
is-
this is.
Gleam is amazing. It's phenomenal. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's gonna be big.
But does it
Trust me.
Fifi?
Look, only certain people, close people and friends, know what cookies. Definitely, it solves everything. It's better than Pepsi. Now, so Gleam is a service. It's used for. Well, you can do a lot of things with it, right? But the number one use that people use it for is for contests. Now, a bunch of you right now are just going, "Oh, contest? What the hell is that got to do with me?" Everything. So check it. You all make products. You all have things you can give away to your audience. This makes it a campaign, right? So what you do is you go, and it's free. Okay, it's free. There's paid versions, but honestly, we're going to teach you how to use the free version and get the paid version for free. Now, right now, they just went, "Oh, there's a scam." No, not a scam. It's just using your noggin. So if you go ahead and go down to run competitions, right? Click on see example.
Okay.
So right here, what you're looking at is a Gleam demo competition. You right now have 0 entries. There are a total of 63,049 entries. There's 1,277 days left. You get 9 different chances to get entries. You answer the question, what platform do you already use? Don't click on any of this stuff, though.
Yeah.
If you visit their Facebook page, you get an entry. If you check out this article on 25 ways you can use Gleam, you get an entry. If you follow them on Twitter, you get an entry. If you visit them on Google+, you get an entry. If you create a free account with them, you get an entry. If you submit a selfie, you get an entry. You get 5 bonus entries by clicking here. Tell your friends about this, you get an entry. So, take this to yourself. You have a Facebook account, you have a Twitter account, you have a YouTube account, you have an email list that you create. Okay, there's 4 methods right there of building your client list. So you set up a Gleam giveaway, and you set up the links for your Twitter account, your Facebook page, your YouTube page, and your email list. And then you say you're going to give away. We're going to use your example here. You're going to give away a free copy of the Yeti to 4 lucky people, right?
Okay.
And they have a month to enter the contest, and at the end of the month, the 4 winners will be chosen. So anybody who wants to enter for a chance to win the Yeti for free will go in and do these steps to get their entries. So Les now gets more people signed up to his Facebook page. He gets more people on his YouTube account. He gets more people following him on Twitter. And he gets let's just say 20 people did this, okay? So he's got 20 new email addresses on his email list. Now, the paid version will give you the emails of these people that entered your giveaway. But if you're running your own email list, you already have them. So why are you paying? They also give you the social media nicknames of the people that visited your stuff. But again, you already got that if you're keeping track of your campaign yourself. Every time somebody likes your page, you get an alert. Bob Johnson liked your page. Make a note. Bob Johnson might be one of these people off of the Gleam thing. Now, if you've never had a like on your page and you start a Gleam account, pretty safe to say the people that liked your page came off this Gleam giveaway. So again, why pay them? Use your brains. You can get the paid version for free because you already have this information. Now, at the end of the 30 days, Gleam will go ahead and use a random number generator and pick your X winners, and they'll display them. These are your winners. Give them their prize. And you can run as many of these as you want, or as few as you want. You can do the paid service too, because you get other things. You get to put in your own logos and stuff like that. You can hold them on your own servers when you pay for the versions. And if you're big enough, you might want to look into it because they're pretty dirt cheap, to be totally honest. But if you're a small vendor just starting out or whatnot, you want to do something like this to do a giveaway, it is invaluable. And again, I don't get to use it myself because I don't have the damn time. But more so, I never had something I could actually give away like that.
Oh yeah,
I dealt with add-ons.
For any of us who have original originating base content like figures or scenes, environments, things like that. Those are base content.
Clothing, pose sets, backgrounds.
Yeah, there's
it's a gold.
Yeah, something like this.
You have an arsenal of content at your disposal that you can use to promote yourself.
Oh yeah,
bring more viewers.
This is this is something that I never thought of. I didn't know anything about, and I've learned something great here. This is awesome, man. Dude, I should have you on with me more often. This is great.
You just want to pre-record more shows.
Yeah, this is
because the whole reason this is pre-recorded, folks, is I can't do my job and be on mic at the same time.
Yeah.
I can't moderate the chat, answer your questions, and get your questions to Les if I'm also here with Les. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So, but this is awesome. Like in private conversation, you had mentioned this to me once before, and honestly, it kind of went in one ear and out the other because I glanced at it and I was like, I don't know what this is. But after a good explanation like that, oh my God, that's powerful stuff right there.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of people hook onto this and use it. They're having a blast with it. It got big over video game companies that wanted to get their demos out and get their brand built up. They just give away 50 keys to their game.
I'm immediately looking at this in terms of not only what I do with 3D content, but then I also work in comic books. And and nowadays, Kickstarter is like the big thing with comic books. But the trick there is how do you build your lists so that you reach the most people with the Kickstarter, and
right.
This is like, dude,
because you use this to build your social media, you use your social media to fund your Kickstarter campaign, and then you use your email list that you built up, and Kickstarter also gives you an email list from everybody who's backed you.
Yeah, this is dead sexy. I'm really, you can bet I definitely am going to be using that. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Anybody here who's ever gone to Humble Bundle, Indie Gala, or BundleStars.com, any of those three big gaming sites, you've seen one of these giveaways. I guarantee it. They run them every damn month.
That's really sweet. That's some good stuff there. So I'm glad we touched on that because I was curious about that, and I'm glad that I was curious because what I've gotten from that is really cool. So let's kind of do a quick recap back through some of the stuff and just try to see if we can hit some of the major beats here about marketing and about using social media to market the kind of content that we all do. So what would you say is the number one thing for people to remember?
The number one thing, which is good, I wanted to touch back on this and kind of explain myself a bit. It sounded wrong coming from me. The number one thing you have to keep in your mind, no matter where you sell with, including us, it's your job to promote the product. Marketplace never really has your best interest at heart. We do. We care, and we show it. So let me explain. Their main job is to get product into their store so they get their cut of their sales. They normally tend to promote only their biggest vendors that make them the most money. That's what you see with other marketplaces. We're literally the only marketplace that promotes everybody equally. Everybody gets the same promotion. Every single product that comes through our store goes up on our social media. Now, this is because of a number of reasons, but mostly it goes like this. Your smallest vendor could become your biggest vendor pushed properly. Okay? But even that, you can do so much more to promote yourself. Get those eyeballs to your store page. Get those people interested in the stuff that you're creating, the stuff that you're selling. Do not rely on a marketplace to push that for you. We're literally just the people that takes the money for you and pays you. That's what a marketplace's core job is, and we do that. No one really promotes people the way they should. But we do. But you can still do more than what we can do.
For somebody like myself, and I think a lot of folks in this, I don't think it's untoward to mention that a lot of folks in this, probably most, are going to sell their goods in a number of places. I do. Everybody knows that I do. That being said, I can attest to the fact that if you're not promoting yourself, if you are not out there dogging it, if you're not pushing the stuff, even though I also openly admit that I feel like I don't do a very good job of pushing myself with it, but if you're not out there at least trying, I hate to be kind of the bearer of bad news with it, and I hate to sound kind of cutthroat about it, but if you're not out there dogging it to sell your product, you can't really expect to get sales. You just can't.
You'll get a fraction of sales. You will get the natural sales from the exposure of the marketplace itself.
Yeah, you'll get the sales that happen when you're found randomly.
No, not necessarily randomly.
Well, somewhat.
It's bad, but it's not that bad. Right? Every single marketplace, no matter where you sell it, you're going to get a big push when your product first gets released because they're going to be on the main page of all those stores, right? Then when your product hits the newsletter of that marketplace, again, you'll get another big push when you're featured in the newsletter. Other than that, you don't get any exposure.
Yep.
Now, come to CGBytes or Endoerotica, you're going to get a third push when your product gets spotlighted on our social media pages. If you're part of our promo group and we're doing your products, then you'll have a fourth push on products when they hit that tier. But your goal as a content creator and as somebody who's trying to make money at this is to get as many eyeballs to these marketplaces that are selling your products as humanly possible. Because without that, I hear so many times, don't even bother putting your stuff over here. They don't make any sales. Do you promote over there? What? No, that's not my job. It's their job. No, that's not their job. Their job is to be the broker of your content, not your promoter. If they were your promoter, you'd be getting 30% per product sold, not 50 or higher.
Yeah.
That's what it is at the end of the day. Their job is to process orders and cut you the check so that you're not dealing with the credit card companies. You're not dealing with the legal side of things. You're not dealing with DMCA takedown requests. You're not dealing with hosting charges. You're not dealing with advertising costs. We all spend money as marketplaces to get traffic to the site. But what happens when those eyeballs come in that we're paying for is they're coming to the main page first. They're seeing the stuff on the main page. They're searching for certain things that they're looking for. They may find you. This is why you need to be promoting yourself.
Absolutely. That's that's something that I kind of, just as somebody with some experience at this stuff, that's something that I kind of realized way back was everything you do, you have to promote it, and I may have my failings at promoting it, but I still, everything that I release, wherever I release it, I'm going to promote it every possible way that I can manage to, given whatever my time and production constraints and things like that may be at the moment. But I'm still going to put that effort in, and that's something that it's a hard thing for people to hear sometimes, because there is a misconception about the role of the brokerage in the context of what we do, and people are like, well, they should be doing this, that, and the other. And it's like, well,
they should be, but at the same time, we can't.
Well, and here's the funny part about it is, like, it doesn't matter, to be honest. To be just blunt, brutally, painfully blunt, it doesn't matter, because in the end, even if let's say God Almighty reaches his ivory hand or whatever down and crafts for you the perfect brokerage that does amazing marketing, gives you a 99% cut, gives you blah 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 blah, whatever beautiful wet dream of a brokerage you have in mind. Doesn't matter. None of it.
Without traffic, you get no.
None of it matters, because, well, and here's where I was going with this, is none of it matters because if you don't believe in your product enough to go out and tell people about it yourself, how the hell do you ever expect any store to do that for you? It's just unreasonable. You cannot expect it to happen. You cannot.
Now, I'll go a step further on this one. Let's say that it's not that you don't believe in your product, but you just don't know how to do this. You don't know how to go out and get the word out. You don't want to come off as spammy or scummy or begging. So if that's the case, that's the reason that you're not promoting your products like you should be. Ask somebody for help.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, every one of you has a friend that knows how to spread the word. Every single one of you knows someone, at least one person. And here's the best promotion on the face of the planet is word of. If you tell 10 people about the new product, at least one of those 10 people is going to tell a handful of people, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. I'm gonna give you this right here and right now. It's the best advice in the world when it comes to promotions and marketing, when it comes to social media. If you've ever watched a YouTube channel, any YouTube channel, every single one of these people, they hammer in the facts, slap that like button, tickle that like button, molest that like button, hit that like button. There's a reason for that. They don't get paid for that like button being hit. It doesn't matter if they've got 10 likes or 10 million likes. They don't get a single dime from that. But what they get is word of mouth. Because the second you hit that like button, half the people on YouTube with accounts have a Twitter account, and it's tied to their YouTube. And if they hit like, it posts on their Twitter account. So-and-so just liked this video, and their X thousands of viewers just saw the post. So it's 1,000 extra eyeballs, or 100, or 10,000 eyeballs that just saw that video. It's the same thing. It's word of mouth, and that is the most beautiful form of promotion because it doesn't cost a freaking cent.
Absolutely.
You just roll that slinky down the stairs. It's just going to keep going and going and going and going until it finally hits that ball.
There's another thing that you actually said it possibly without even thinking you were saying it, but and it's one word that I think every artist needs to embrace, regardless of what kind of art you're doing or what you're trying to sell, and that is ask.
Yes.
That word is important because if you don't ask for help, ask for sales, ask for people to look at things, if you don't ask, you just expect people to ask you, then let's say you're in a room with one other person and you expect them to ask you for something or about something, well, and you refuse to ask them, you just limited the odds of having any conversation about whatever that thing is by a full 50%. You just cut the odds out of that. Whereas if you had done something, if you had asked, then they may not respond, but you just increased your odds of getting a response by a full 100%. You have a 100% better chance of getting a response if you're willing to ask. And I actually watched. I feel like such a dork saying this. Sometimes I watch different TED Talks, and
TED Talks.
I actually dig a lot of that stuff. Sometimes I kind of go on my own little like motivational speaker type rants, but particularly there was a musician who I absolutely adore. This chick, Amanda Palmer. Formerly of a duo called the Dresden Dolls. My daughter loves her. It's just really cool music, really oddball music, but really cool. And Amanda Palmer, she's also, interestingly enough, she's married to Neil Gaiman, which immediately gives her like all the cool points in the world. And she is a co-founder of, I think, both Kickstarter and Patreon. Yeah, so lady kind of knows what she's talking about some things. And I watched a TED Talk with her where she talked about her days as a street performer in Boston, and that what she learned from it was what she called the art of asking. And that stuck with me from what she said there so hard, because and it's something that actually I realized that I had already been doing for years as an artist, but then having it coalesced into that phrase, the art of asking, made it a thing in a new way that was really powerful. And the point that I'm making with all that is that when you're marketing yourself, when you're doing this stuff and you're marketing yourself, every time you talk about your product, every time you share something about your product, every time you push a product in some way, you're not pushing. We need to strike that word from our discussions on the subject. You're not pushing, you're asking. You're saying it,
yes, unless you're just simply putting up a post and saying click here, buy now.
Yeah.
Then you're pushing.
Yeah.
Which is where wording comes into play.
Yeah, but generally speaking, the way that you want to think about it is you're asking. You're saying, "Hey, Chet, man, could I get you to take 10 seconds of your life and look at this cool thing I made? It's kind of cool. I'm really proud of it. Come check this out. And if you like it, you can buy it and help me keep making more of this kind of cool stuff." And that is such a great, organic, natural, positive way to market and to approach marketing. And people respond well to it because it's honest. It's simultaneously honest and effective. It's like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. So, but as soon as when Jason was talking and I heard him talking, I heard the word ask in there. I was like, oh yeah, definitely. Remember, there's an art to that process. You have to be willing to ask for things, and believe in what you're doing enough that you're willing to go out there and ask people to come check it out, and you will get more sales. You'll build a career. You'll build however big you want to build out of that. So, and that's kind of actually, I'm glad we hit that because I feel like that's actually a good place for us to kind of wind down. Because I like that too because I oftentimes like to wind these things down on kind of a philosophical sort of note, and that's a good one. Guys, don't be afraid to ask. Remember that all your marketing is asking. You're asking people to look. You're asking people to buy. So, guys, I want to wrap this up. I haven't really been paying attention to the time real close, and that's okay because we've covered a lot of cool stuff. Jason, Mr. Loki 3D or 3D Loki, I'm still screwing that up. He can correct me. Please correct me on that.
It's just intentional.
There you go. Dude,
don't call me Frank TJ Maxx.
So, thanks for hanging with us. It's been really cool. I've learned a lot. Is there anything you want to leave people with in closing, man?
If you're not already with us at CGBytes, get over there now. Join the family.
Cool. Yeah, come aboard. We got some cool stuff going on over there. So, guys, thanks everybody for watching and listening and hanging out with us, and I hope you guys pick up some cool tips and tricks and ideas on all this stuff as always. Thanks again to Jason, both for being here as we record this and for being there in the chat to help moderate and talk about stuff and field some questions from folks as he always does.
Yes, hopefully if any of you guys had questions while we were talking over here, hopefully we both actually answered your questions and scared the living shit out of you before we told you this was on tape.
Yeah, it should be kind of interesting. It should be kind of interesting because in its own sort of way, like I actually never hardly get to listen to these things or watch these things near as much as I should. So this time I'm actually going to be kind of listening to a lot of it as it's playing back for you guys, which is going to be really odd.
This is going to be some Inception type stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be like less within less. And that's a creepy, almost masturbatory sort of concept in and of itself that I'm not cool with, but I'm doing it for you guys because I love you all.
And I'm probably really confused in chat right now because my sound has been awfully late the last 2 hours, I'm sure. So I don't want to myself.
Oh, that's great. So, guys, again, thanks to everybody for hanging out and checking out the stuff, listening, hopefully picking up some things. Remember, coming up in the next week, we start our June 10th, we start our Mechanical series.
Design and concept.
Yes, design and concept, mechanical. Because as much as I do creatures and organic stuff, I actually really dig the crap out of doing hard surfaces and hard sci-fi stuff. And so we're gonna take a trip back into the dark void with mechanical and kind of start building on that. Give you guys some cool new tools and tricks. And ways to jumpstart your own hard surface modeling and developments with that kind of stuff for Daz Studio. So, going to be a lot of over the next few weeks. Going to go back into a lot more hands-on Zbrush, a little bit of hands-on Substance, some hands-on Daz Studio. Kind of going back into the woodshed with all that stuff that we've been covering for all the time that we've been doing the content, the artist development series here. So it should be fun. So with that, I'm going to bring us to a close, and I will
run outside for a cigarette real quick, and I'll come back if there's anybody that has any questions in chat that we haven't answered yet. I will stick around for a while after the show is over here. Just let me go get some nicotine first.
Awesome. You go get that. And so thanks to everybody. Thanks to Jason and Terry and CGBytes for hosting this stuff. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, that it is that you should, as was mentioned earlier in reference to YouTube, like and subscribe. Remember to share the links and all that kind of stuff. If you are a 3D artist of any degree, any level, any beginner to professional to intermediate to whatever, don't care. Come talk to the folks at CGBytes about about what it takes to deploy your content through the CGBytes marketplace. And open your.
Don't forget Six's secret.
Oh yes, Thank you for plugging.
Get that code.
Thank you for plugging that. The where did it go? Choo. There it is.
It's
secret Six's sale at that coupon code at CGBytes will get you 40% off the entire 6S1 store for the next week. So that's pretty nifty stuff right there.
You just put that in at the checkout. So make your order. When you get to the checkout and it says coupon code, you put that coupon code in. If it doesn't work, that means you are too late.
Oh,
so
first 100 people. The first 100 people there get that nice fat discount. So with that code. So we're going to close it up. Thanks everybody for being here, and until next time, I am Les from 6S1, and this is CGBytes Content Artist Development Series. Thanks.